Hi there, this is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
And Jolie Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet, and we would like to welcome you to today's show. It is the holiday season, and we have such gratitude for the energy that is during this time. And John is going to tell us more about it.
Yeah, it is. It's that most wonderful time of the year. You just think about Christmas representing the birth of Jesus 2,000 odd years ago. And we're gonna, that's why we brought Jesus into this particular program. And I have to say off the top, I am in no way religious, okay? Never have been particularly. But it doesn't mean that I don't believe in all these wonderful things. But I think that's the joy of spirituality is kind of you don't need a middleman to reach God. You don't, but again, I totally respect everybody's right to go through because I know some people who really do follow religion quite closely and they love it. It's a beautiful sense of community for them. It's a sense of coming together and I suppose it brings that collective consciousness together as well. So that's not to be dismissive of it at all. It's my path is very much more of a spiritual path. But anyway, I digress. So we've got an exciting show. This is going to do justice to the holiday season. And we're going to start it with something that one of our community who's here today, which is Lindy. Thank you very much, Lindy. She sent effectively, it's a greetings card, which also had a really profound message on. And it's all about the winter solstice. And you know what? I said to Joel, we need to start with this because it's a great message. We've just gone through, I mean, it's the 22nd today. So yesterday was the solstice. So anyway, I did the narration on it. It's not the voice of Lindy. It would have been an octave or two different had it been Lindy, I'm sure. Anyway, we're going to go straight to that and just do that little section for starters. So bear with me a second. So here is Lindy's message entitled Peace. Today is the winter solstice with the standing still of the sun. On this day, the sun is at its southernmost point and the daylight hours are at their shortest. It is a very important time of the year for us to reflect on what is gone and what is no more, letting go of that which no longer serves us. Although there is a great stillness and it may seem that there is an apparent deadness, the landscape is just asleep, and so should we be resting and recuperating, drawing within, conserving our energy, preparing for when the light comes again. This is a time of great upheaval, unrest and uncertainty in the world around us. Staying in your heart center and sending out peaceful, healing thoughts to all sentient beings is a powerful action. Despite the chaos in the outside world, there is no need to fear. For safety is a place within. May the light of the returning sun illuminate your heart, that your heart may illuminate the world, bringing peace, compassion, and love to all. Many blessings, light and love from Lindy. Thank you so much, Lindy. Just had to put that in there because, we have to, the solstice is just literally passed, but the energy's still here. And that's just such a beautiful profound message, and I know Kit agrees with that as well. She's popped the heart in there. So thank you. Now, moving on to where we go with this, we have got a little bit of space weather just to kind of give us a little bit of a festive feel for what's likely to happen on the solar point from a solar perspective. One of the other things that we are going to do is on the 24th of December, we put out a video, which is an excerpt from Jesus and the Essenes at the time of the birth of Jesus. And it's from the Audible side of the books, Dolores Cannon. I'm a big fan of hers. Honestly, I have learned so much about what life is really about, what the nature of consciousness and the human experience is about. When you actually have gone through the works of Dolores, you kind of like it completely changes your mindset. What I've done is I have just added a probably less than 1.5 minutes of the video that will go out on Christmas Eve, just to honor the birth of Christ. So you kind of get a real sense of what that is all about. Jolie, anything you want to add?
No, John, I think you summed it up well. So let's keep going.
Thank you, Jolie. Right, we're going to do that. We're going to go and just bear with me a second.
Buckle up, folks. It's here. It's happening. A new mega sunspot cluster is on the Earth-facing side of the sun, now to rotate through the Earth bullseye strike zone over the next 10 days. It's already launched 3 M-class flares in less than 24 hours. It launched significantly bigger solar flares on the far side of the sun. We'll look at that imagery to get a sense of what is possible from these 2 sunspot groups here, 3927, 3928, working together. Look at how active that sunspot cluster is already, and it could continue to evolve and become more complex as it seems to have been doing so over the past few days, because we didn't have this sort of activity a week ago, and then all of a sudden we've had this sequence of very significant far side solar explosions, which this sunspot cluster is partly responsible for, and now it's on the Earth facing side, and it may be the Christmas merrymaker that a lot of solar enthusiasts have been waiting for.
Okay, thank you, Stefan. So from one celestial event that is taking place right now, we switch the clock back some 2,000 or so years and go back to the time of the Essenes and the birth of the Messiah.
He said he was with his father, and they were watching the stars. Not an unusual thing to be doing, but there was something different about her voice. A quiet excitement, a feeling of wonder and awe that alerted me to the fact that this was not a normal night. He took several deep breaths and said, "It is the beginning of everything, to be able to see this for myself. It is all that I could ask, to know that the prophecy is being fulfilled." Katie, as Sadi, clasped her hands together in front of her, and her body seemed alive with excitement. Sadi continued, "It is the coming together of the 4 tonight." In chapter 3, Sadi's father had told him there would be a sign in the heavens when the Messiah was coming. He stated, "It is said that from 4 corners that stars will rise together, and when that they meet, it will be the time of his birth." There were many of the Essenes with Sadi, and they were watching from the waiting point of the hills, which was probably above Qumran. He could hardly contain his excitement. He said, "Never in my wildest hopes." His voice contained so much awe, it was almost a whisper. I asked him to describe what he was seeing.
So yeah, I love that. You know, the message, but the energy that comes through with the message, as Katie was in deep hypnosis under QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique from Dolores, and coming out with this past life as Sadi, the Essene, who ultimately, interestingly, went on to teach Jesus and John the Baptist actually in Qumran. So, it's a fascinating thing. So 24th of December, I will be sending that out on the briefest of newsletters, just to kind of link it in and just to offer that one out as a nice seasonal one, just to give us a little lift about what is this all about. This is what it's all about. So, anyway, so moving forward, we've got Pam Gregory, Astrologer Extraordinaire, and you just got to love Pam. The fact is that, we're not focusing so much on her astrology on this one. It's more just the message that follows, because she nails it every time. And I think that it really is a joy to soak this up. And again, it's about this time of year. It's about this time of year where we go within, where we can kind of like get excited about the future because everything is changing. And I know that we may see chaos in the world around us, but that is not to say that we should fear this because this is taking us to our world of unspeakable beauty. So it's part of the process. And as Pam would tell us, we climb on our eagle's perch and use discernment about the information that comes around us. And we can choose what, how we choose our attitude to life, right? We choose where we want to be. So Pam Gregory first, then we've got Elizabeth April following on from Pam, and we'll kind of talk our way into that one. So, Jolie, anything you want to add before we bring Pam into this show?
You spoke about, religion as well, and really having honor and reverence for that. And I understand that. It is truly a beautiful thing because if it wasn't for a religious community that I was a part of, I wouldn't be here. And so that brings us to both Pam Gregory and Elizabeth April, and then all of these things that we have going on. But what I'd like to tell people is that for expansiveness and mind opening, it's about really going within and seeing what resonates, right? And John talked about removing the middleman. And that's what we are trying to give you the courage to do, is to understand that you have a direct line. That essence that we talk about is in you. As we talk about the Messiah and we talk about this energy and how we collective consciousness has decided in some parts, this is his birth, that is who we are.
Yeah.
And that's why in the present moment, it's important to feel that joy. Like when you understand that everything has been created to keep that secret from you, break free.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And that's it. It's all about raising the frequency, raising the vibration, and this is
Yes.
about joy. This is
It-
all about joy. We talk about joy at this point and we will finish with joy as well, right?
yes. But it's not outside of us. It's like bring the party, at least to yourself. There's no other way to describe it because when you subscribe to some of these belief systems, you're putting the power outside of yourself. Take on the learnings and the teachings of the Messiah, because somewhere in the Bible, and I will get back to you, but it says, greater works ye shall do than even so. Really take ownership and cultivate yourself and take in the teachings of the Messiah and apply them to your life and uniquely.
Yeah.
That's how you raise your frequency and vibration.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. Yeah, brilliant. And well, I mean, Jesus was the way, right? He wanted to be the way shower. He didn't want to
Yeah.
be, he didn't want to be deified. I don't think, it wasn't what it was about. He was the way. And that's what I always take from it.
You know what? One more thing, and I will be quiet. Spirit taught me one time when I was in my meditation was I had a Scrooge moment in a way. And I was taken 1,000 years in the future. And I was told, and I saw these people and they were worshiping Michael Jackson like he was Jesus Christ.
Right.
And the spirit was like, this is exactly what is going on here. Now, I was like, what? They're worshiping Michael Jackson? No, not like that. But I have all reverence and respect, but I know him as a man
Right.
who had a great gift, but not to be worshiped in that way, right? So that's when I knew that I needed to walk in the ways of the ancients in terms of learning from them from a place of equality.
Yeah.
And working to get to that excellence where they got to. Because if I feel like Jesus is out of touch or out of reach, then that means, you know what? Why bother?
No.
So, I mean, think about it like that. So I hope that you understand where I'm coming from with that example.
Yeah. Yeah. No. The way I look at it is Jesus is our brother, right? That's the way that
Yes.
he would want to be seen. He would want to be seen as our brother, not as somebody like way up and unattainable, because he is totally attainable to all of us. He is, he's part of us. Anyway, we'll come back to that. And talking about
Yes.
your Ebenezer moment, this is actually a converted chapel, which is the Church of Ebenezer, originally actually built in 1850. So there you go. I've got
Yes.
I've got a permanent Scrooge moment over here.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, we're going to go on to Pam now, and let's tap into some Pam wisdom. Bear with me a second.
2025 is going to be such an enormous year. And I often think of Gandhi saying, be the change you want to see in the world. And yes, absolutely. And so often in my videos, I've talked about living from the inside out, not the outside in, and dominating your days with the emotion you choose. Do you choose love? Do you choose joy, gratitude, peace, etc.? And dominating your day with that. But it's actually more than all of those things, because as we are entering this, we are already in the chrysalis process of this massive metamorphosis that we're going through as humanity. It is, and it's absolutely not an external savior, coming to save us. Humanity is doing this. It's a combination of the time capsule, this this inner acorn that's being activated by the cosmic energies that is creating this huge transformation for humanity. So it's the cosmic energies. It's not whoever's voted into power or not. It's the cosmic energies, the high frequency light, because of the convergence of all of the different timelines, very large and very small, that I've talked about in my Metamorphosis for Humanity, my conversation with Richard Rudd about the new human. It's the convergence of all of those timelines into now, the high frequency light coming in to us, that we in every cell of our body as physical human beings are transmuting in every moment. And if we are living in love, joy, gratitude, compassion, appreciation, we are more able to transmute that high frequency light and embody it. So we are moving more quickly towards the light body. Nobody forces you in either direction. It's your frequency that determines this. And so this is really important, I feel, for us to get as humanity, because this is down to each of us. Nobody can do it for you. No leader can do it for you. No leader's coming to save us one way. There may be some helpful people who can accelerate it a little, but this is the mass of humanity that is doing this, interacting with cosmic energy right now. So I really want to say that. And that's why I don't get into the political fray very much, because this is so much bigger. What we're going through is so much bigger and better than that. But we know we can change the future with our consciousness. There is 10 tons of evidence out there for that you will be very aware of. Through our meditations, through our frequency, we change the future by our consciousness. Even in listening to this video now, you may have shifted your consciousness a notch or two. And me in speaking it, I know I have, because I'm excited by this. So we change tomorrow. We move it up a notch or two, a degree or two. We, with our consciousness, change our future. And individually and collectively, we have a big spiritual responsibility to do that. So step into your future as if it is already here, and live it in every moment as if it is already here for you. So very exciting time, I think, on Earth. 2025 is going to be an incredibly, as I say, dynamic, eventful, expansive, and historic year. Possibly the biggest we've ever lived, actually, so far.
Okay, thank you, Pam. This is the first break point. So what Pam says there is pretty self-explanatory. I love what she says. I love how she says it. One of the points of interest, it's not an external savior that is coming to save us. Humanity is doing this. And she talks about this inner acorn. So therefore, understanding that that is beginning to germinate. The metamorphosis is already in the chrysalis stage. And it is down to us. So basically, we're stepping into our power individually and collectively. And that's how we get to create our world of unspeakable beauty. So I love that. So Jolie, what would you care to add?
She says that we can create our future through our consciousness. And we might have the question, how? How do you do that? Your awareness in the present moment is the most important way in which to stay consciously aware of how your future may unfold, meaning having the joy and the bliss in this positive moment, really being aware of how you're feeling and how you are comporting yourself throughout your daily life is an important component of building the future. So stopping the worry about the past and the fear of the future and just really focusing in the moment is the way that we build the consciousness of the future, really mining just the moment. If you're unhappy, this is the moment for you to get happy. If you're not peaceful, this is the moment for you to get peaceful. Not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, but laying the building blocks by your awareness of where you are and who you are right now, and then working through meditation to align with your purpose. Now, that is definitely a unique journey in and of itself, but consciousness is built by our awareness in our present moment.
Okay, thank you, Jolie, and thank you, Pam. So next up, we have Elizabeth April, and this is where we get to connect with Jesus and receive our message for humanity. Elizabeth, as you may well know, is a super talented remote viewer, and here she is reaching out to the life force energy, the consciousness of Jesus. Something she has done before, but I find this description quite awe-inspiring, and it has helped me to build a frame of reference for something that I'd struggled to comprehend from my limited human perspective, not just about Jesus, but about angelics and others as well. So see what the following ignites in you. So here we go. Take it away, Elizabeth.
Okay, so imagine space, just like for a moment. Just imagine the vastness of space and like just this darkness with these tiny sort of, whether it be galaxies or stars or planets, just off in the very distant distance. And then there's this being, and man, it's kind of even tough to describe how big he is. Let's just say like maybe 50 to 100 feet. And in comparison, I'm like this to him, like massive. He's just massive. And all I see, it's not like a man floating in space because he's not a man, right? He's an ascended master. And so he, like, it literally looks like this 100-foot tall, glowing, golden, semi-humanoid, transparent body. So like, but it's like this golden energy is swirling all around him. Like if you could imagine like billowing robes of golden energy. So it's hard to actually even make out specific depictions of like body parts and things, but I could see his head, right? And he does look humanoid, I guess, but once again, like definitely without a body, like all very etheric, very non-physical. And what else? And it looked like he was sleeping. And don't ask me why that was my initial thought when I observed him. I'm like, wow, he's sleeping, but he's not sleeping because they don't have to sleep. He's in a deep state of trance or meditation, but it's almost like his head is down. And it's just like so wild, but I'm gonna describe it. So with this golden, and that's all I see is just like this golden, and it looks like little golden particles. It's not a solid formation. It's like little tiny dots of golden energy or sparkles swirling all around him, but like almost like a soft melodic, don't know if that's the right word, but a soft swirling energy. And then coming down sort of off of these swirling golden robes of energy, it almost feels like, but it's not, like octopus tentacles. So that's just sort of the impression that I get. And what's really fascinating is that, how do I even describe this? It's like every little wisp, that's what it is. It's a wisp. Every little wisp of energy is a communication that he's having with another planet or a being or a civilization. And so it's almost like his entire form is in a deep state of meditation, but then he's like fractioning himself off. And it's even hard to call him a he, even though it does come through as like masculine, but like a very soft, healed, almost like the sun's energy. You know how I've talked to our sun before a couple of times? Very similar to that, like just like a very strong masculine, but also soft masculine presence. So fascinating. Anyway, I had to describe that because I'm like, what is this? This is crazy. And then it's almost like, for whatever reason, I couldn't get too close to him because it's like there's almost too much power or energy emanating. It's almost like don't get too close to the sun sort of vibes. But I was like sort of on the outskirts of him as a being, and one of his little wispies like came up to me, and I'm like, okay, this is how I'm going to communicate to you, is literally I'm now a part of this mechanism, like that you are. I don't know. It's like so fascinating. I had to describe that. Obviously, it's a lot to describe. I didn't want to sort of get it jumbled with the information. Now I'm actually going to go back and say, hi, I'm a messenger from planet Earth. Like, please help us. Like, what's going on? I don't know. What can you recommend? Okay, 1 second.
Okay, so what I love about Elizabeth's description here is that she has given me a frame of reference for how ascended masters, angelics, and the likes can answer the call of millions around the world at any one time. So I always knew that there is a limitless source of love and wisdom, but my human mind always wants me to think of the likes of Jesus as a single individuated expression that could address one request at a time. Now I have the wisps as my multifaceted, limitless frame of reference. So thank you, Elizabeth. So this idea that Pam said that there is no external savior that is coming to save us, and I certainly believe that to be true. However, there is an internal savior that is represented by heart-based Christ consciousness, which is the unity consciousness we know that we are heading into in this new age of Aquarius, which is also known as the Golden Age. So in each of us, we have the essence of Jesus. That is an aspect or wisp, as I now know it, of this Christ consciousness. We are our own second coming. We each simply have to realize our divinity within and choose to activate it. And what I thought I'd do to support this idea of the Christ consciousness within is that I'm going to read a short section by Pamela Cribb where she is channeling Jesus. This can be found along with so many other things in Robert Schwartz's exceptional book, Your Soul's Gift. Here's just one paragraph that is pertinent to this discussion. You are here on Earth not just to help yourself, but also to make a contribution to humanity. Know that you are needed. Indeed, I need you to complete my mission. The purpose of my life was to introduce and pass on the Christ energy, which is larger than I, to people who would, in turn, pass it on to others. My arrival was meant to bring in the seeds of a new consciousness. You were meant to receive these seeds and let them blossom in your own heart so that others would be touched by them in the same way. You are becoming Christs yourselves. The rebirth of Christ is nothing more than the rebirthing of heart-based consciousness within you. You are part of my mission. I needed you then, and I need you now to fulfill our joint mission. So, this is how we step into our power, both individually and collectively, to create our world of unspeakable beauty. Anyway, on with the show.
Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. All right, good. Okay, so I go back there, right? I'm immediately back there. The little wispy, the golden wisp is like in front of me, and then sort of in the background is him, this giant being. And so I said, "Hi, I'm from Earth." I mean, I didn't really even have to introduce myself. Like he knew who I was or what I was or where I came from. And then I said, like, what do we need to know? And there's no words to describe the presence or the energy of Jesus. And I have felt this every single time. Like he's brought me, oh, every time he's been in my orbit, I've been brought to tears. And that's also part of the reason why I didn't want to get too close, because I didn't want to just get emotional. But I'm going to try my best to describe this, because even this is his message. So I have to describe this, but words doesn't do it justice. The energy and the embodiment of Jesus is the energy and the embodiment of Source, God, or the universe. I know it sounds kind of religious, but it is the truth. It is what it is. Like ascended masters have that energy. Jesus, on the other hand, versus other ascended masters I've spoken to, like Melchizedek, for example, very different. Like because their mission, their sole purpose is very different. And I would say that Jesus is either in the 11th or potentially the 12th dimension, but very high up there, right? And we've got 12 dimensions in this universe, so extremely high up there, very close to Source, very close to God. And Jesus is the embodiment of Source in the way of love. I don't know how best to describe that. Once again, I've talked to other ascended masters, and they don't have even close to the same frequency as Jesus. Very, very different. Jesus is the embodiment of unconditional love. I can say that all day, but there is a resonance, there is a feeling. Like I said, if I talk about it enough, it will bring me to tears, because it's so incredibly profound and powerful. And it's right here, it's right in the heart chakra, okay? And so anytime I interact with Jesus, which, like I said, on a very small number of occasions, I get this sense of profound unconditional love. Like nothing in the entire universe exists other than this one thing, which is this unconditional love. And so I felt that as the wisp was getting closer to me, I was feeling this profound sense of unconditional love, like nothing else existed other than that. And the message was, and the wisp pointed right at my heart chakra. Humanity needs to know that nothing else exists other than unconditional love. That's it. That's all we need. We need to get back into that place. And I protested immediately. And I'm like, look, I get it. Cool. Like, but I'm not going to go back and say unconditional love. Like, that's it. That's all the thing that really matters. Like, we got to pay our bills. Like, there's wars. There's literal wars that are happening around our planet. There are people suffering every single day. And an average grocery bill is like $400. Like, what do we do? Like, I don't know. Like, so I wasn't really happy with his answer. And then he did respond, and now I forget the response because I'm too in the reaction, but I have to get it back because it was pretty profound. Yes. So really my like reaction or response was like, okay, great, but how? Like, come on, like we're faced with all of these things. So how do we just hop into the heart chakra of unconditional love and like become Jesus, you know? And he said, and this was really good, and I'm glad I protested, and I'm glad I got a little bit more clarity, because this really resonated. He said that he wants us to think about the things that we do that bring us a profound sense of joy. He said, think about that thing that you did, and it could have been years ago. Hopefully it wasn't that long ago that you've experienced this emotion before, but he said, go to a place where you're doing something and there's so much joy within the experience of doing that thing that nothing else matters in that moment but you and the joy that you're experiencing. He said, that's it right there. That's the unconditional love. That's the frequency that we need to go back to over and over again.
I love that. We have a last 2.5 minutes of that before we go into the guided meditation. Well, it's part of the guided meditation because it's really deep and it's beautiful. But I love this. And I wrote something down for this because I just didn't want to, I wanted to get the point across in a succinct kind of way. So it's a bit like with near-death experiences. Whenever you watch anything on YouTube, let's say about near-death experiences, and people do meet Jesus, or they kind of go into heaven, they always have the same problem of actually putting into words what this love actually feels like. And I find the way that Elizabeth talks about this makes, is absolutely, and like it just you just know that this exists out there. And here we are on planet Earth in the density, but this is what we've chosen, right? We have chosen because what we're searching for is to get back to unconditional love. This is the journey. And this is Jesus telling us how. So I love how overwhelming the incredible loving energy that emanates from Jesus is, and that words cannot do justice to that feeling. So the profound sense of unconditional love, and nothing else exists. And we have to get back to that place. But how do we do it? Well, this makes so much sense to me. I'm creating a list for myself of joyous moments from my life, which also, they start all the way back from waking up on Christmas Day as a kid. You know what it's like when you're about 4, 5, 6 years old, and you can have your earliest memories of what it used to be like waking up on Christmas Day as a child. Or like when my grandparents arrived over from Germany when I was like a kid as well. It was just, you just get that sense of joy that just lives with you forever. And to me, my life has never been more enjoyable than it is now. I love life. I feel very blessed. And, I love doing the elevated planet journey because I feel that this is totally in alignment with who I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing. And to do that, it wouldn't be quite so simple if I was having to go out and continue to do the day job that I did for many decades before effectively retiring back in 2020. So, I totally get it, but I do feel that I am truly blessed. And I do spend a lot of time focusing on gratitude when I wake up in the small hours of the morning. I just like lay there with a big stupid grin on my face because I realize how fortunate I am. So the other thing that launches me into bliss, this is a vision that I have very strongly. It's about the elevated planet events that we're going to be hosting in the future. And it feels like we're connecting heaven on earth from the collective consciousness of everyone present. And it becomes this beautiful, high frequency sensory experience that we're just immersed in. And every time I think about it, again, it just leaves me with this big, stupid grin on my face. So it's kind of part of a meditation for me. It's like the vision, and it's so strong. And everybody who's here today is part of this, because this is not about one person. This is about us individually coming together as collective consciousness to create this connection between heaven and earth, and, in alignment across dimensions and with all of consciousness and creation. It's beautiful. So, and as Pam would say, it is stepping into our future as if it was already here. And in that now moment, basically, that's where I am with my journey. So I love this. I love what Elizabeth April is doing here in making that connection and explaining this as well as she does. But Jolie, I want to bring you in and get your take on this.
Yes, I think that you summed it up nicely. It's great to be in this place, isn't it? Where, as I like to say, when you're enjoying bliss, and science and spirituality is coming together in your life, this is when you're in alignment with your purpose. This is when the unconditional love starts to flow and you start to get into the rhythm that is your own. See, that's the rub. We have been taught so much about the external, as I touched on before. And so it's okay and you're safe to let some of that go and pick it up and go, do I really like this? Does this really feel good to me? No, it doesn't. I'm putting this down. And there's more authenticity and more room for expansiveness, and talk about, what she talks about, to have the experiences Elizabeth April has, but you look at her energy and her aura and you see that she lets go. There's this lightness about her. There's this energy of in the moment, being in this bliss, being open to what the spirit sends her versus us. Oh, no, 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 not me, not me. Oh, no, it can't be me. Who am I? You're somebody, you're something. You are resonating with all of the powerful and positive energy that is moving on the planet. Lock in, tap in.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that's a really good point because, you know, we spend many, many decades, or certainly I've spent many, many decades in the conditioning and programming that is designed to keep us small, that is designed to have us look outside of ourselves for the answers that we then ultimately realize actually all lie within, you know, whether it's the Christ consciousness, whether it's the heart-based consciousness, getting out of the duality of the mind and realizing that we're all one and that we all come from the one source, we all return to the same source. But at the same time, we have to balance that with the practicality of life, right? As she says, you know, grocery bills on average $400, and you know there are wars going on, and you see these things, you know, being like pushed out by the mainstream media all the time.
Absolutely. But it seems as if we look at science, as above, so below. Sometimes we see that some of these worry, doubt, and fears become manifest in stress and heart disease, right? We know it can't be seen, but it happens. And so if that happens, let's turn the coin. So we know we have to pay our grocery bill, our light bill, but why don't we see ourselves being able to pay it? Yes. Instead of I can't pay it. That's all I'm asking. Why don't we sit down in meditation and see ourselves being able to pay our bills, reaching for the books that speak about building wealth and financial prosperity, working with people and connecting with those that maybe know and have mastery over this, instead of sitting at home and being scared and burying my head in the sand and failing to make that Excel spreadsheet, whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's that simple. It's not something grandiose like, oh, you know, you're riding a star. No, it's just as simple as seeing yourself getting that raise, that promotion, seeing yourself getting that new job, seeing more eyes on your art and more eyes on your video. It starts there, and holding that space for periods of time every single day.
Yes.
Because guess what? We're doing the opposite of that. We're worrying about our problems periodically throughout the day. Turn off that switch and turn this one on. It's that simple. How do you do it? Every day, be aware. Oh my God, here I go. I'm worrying about that again. You know what? I got this. You know what? I'm capable. I'm able. I'm going to be all right. I've been all right in the past. And whatever was in the past is in the past. Now I'm here. I have the strategy, I have the brain power, I have the heart, I have the courage, right? If you fill yourself up with these self-affirmations, guess what? You start to ride the wave because you sure rode the negative one.
Yes. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So it's that simple.
Yeah. And it's also, you know, just very, very briefly, just mention about, you know, the piece we've put out a couple of times, Bruce Lipton, talking about how, you know, the focus of your attention, you know, when you've got that love focus, for instance, whether it's self-love or love of anything outside of yourself for that matter, that is what brings in the oxytocin. That's the thing that brings in all the chemicals that actually, you know, bring into your cellular biology that recreates these cells beautifully. Whereas when you're stuck in fear, when you're stuck in all these negative aspects, basically your cells are dying, and that's what brings the disease.
People say, okay, Bruce, you're studying cells in a plastic petri dish. What does that have to do with me? It doesn't make a difference to the cell if it's in a plastic dish or a skin dish. It still responds to environmental signals. So the environment is controlling the cells. But between the environment and the cells is the mind, and that does interpretation. If you open your eyes and see someone you love, your mind interprets love, and you release beautiful chemicals. Dopamine for pleasure, oxytocin for bonding. If I take the chemicals from brain that perceives love and put them into a plastic petri dish, the cells grow beautifully. If I take the chemicals from a brain that perceives fear, the cells stop growing and they start dying. So you're the one whose thoughts change the chemistry, and the chemistry controls the genetics. So all of a sudden, you're not a victim of your genes, you're the master of your genes.
So absolutely 100% science backs you up on that as well as Dr. Bruce. So 100%. Okay. All right. Well, let's get into the guided meditation then. It is now that time. And we are once again going to Elizabeth April for the last 2.5 minute little section. So bear with me a second. Here we go.
So he was explaining whatever sparks your joy, like, you know, whatever allows you to be the most embodied and the most present with that joy, with that experience, with that gratitude, right? Gratitude's usually a thing that we can sort of look back on and say, I'm so grateful for that. But being so present in that moment, having that experience of joy, he said, that's going to lead you back to unconditional love and gratitude and appreciation. It's going to lead you back to unconditional love. Having more moments of that rather than moments of, well, I can't afford to do this, or why am I out right now, or I'm needed elsewhere, or, you know, I'm not good enough, or are people judging me, or, you know, just dance on the street, just sing out loud, just be weird, be quirky, be yourself, experience more moments of joy, and you will go back to that source frequency where nothing else matters. It's like, I think that my reaction was such a human reaction too. And we can't discount the human reaction. We can't discount the human experience because it all is very relevant. We have to take that into account while also understanding that this is just a blink in the eye of our entire experience as souls. So at nighttime, are you going to be laying around thinking about all the things that went wrong or feeling anxious about what could go wrong tomorrow? Or are you going to lay there and just be present in your body and be in the experience of the now? It's not worth it to worry. It's not worth it to hold on to things that don't serve us or people that don't serve us. Live in the moment, find those moments of joy, and try and be in a place where you're just showing up without fear or apprehension or attachment or judgment or jealousy or guilt or shame. I feel like that's always the message from him. It's so simple, and yet we tend to forget it because there's so many moving pieces to this thing we call life.
Go ahead and take a deep breath in and exhale. And once you've found a comfortable place to sit or lay down, put your feet flat on the floor. And for those of you laying down, put your feet flat for the first part of the meditation. Palms up on your thighs. Close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your chest. Breathe with the rhythm of your body. Take a moment and just feel what it feels like to be present and in your body. Breathe. And from a heart-centered space, command your heartbeat and your breath to sync up in rhythm, symphonic exchange of unconditional love between your outer environment and your inner environment. Now ground your energy from your first chakra. Create, visualize, and imagine a grounding cord 6 inches in diameter and of a natural earth element, moving down through the chair, through the bed, whatever you're sitting on, the floor, laying on, and through the crust of Mother Earth. And take your time with this grounding cord. Look around. You see the shale, the bones, tells a story as you move through her lithosphere. And you begin now to travel at the speed of love through the asthenosphere, and you root yourself into her core. She's so happy to see you. She's like, thank you. I've been waiting. Let her just give you love as you give love back to her, and gratitude for feeding you, clothing you, and sheltering you, and giving you space. She knows who you are. As she commands those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles to come in, blanket the inside and the outside of your grounding cord, cleaning off everything you're ready to let go of and release. Anyone else's energy, any delusions of veils of failing to know who you are being removed. And while you simultaneously pull your aura in to be 1.5 feet around you, and you're sitting in the center of it, and it's encircling you perfectly. And then your higher self knows to come back above your head and stand at the power position. And your astral body is snapped in, feet and feet, knees and knees, hips and hips, hands and hands, elbows and elbows, shoulders and shoulders, head and neck. Fitting inside of you like a hand fits inside of a glove. And from this heart-centered space, you're going to take a deep breath in. Gently exhale, open your feet chakras. You're going to call in 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you to pull in the bottoms of your feet. Feel the warmth of Mother Earth filling you up with love, her love, giving you all the vitamins and the minerals that you need to be healthy, to be well, body, mind, and spirit. As this essence then begins to travel up the side channels of your legs, medial and lateral. It's a little pipeline moving up past your ankles and your calves, moving up past your knees, infusing, waking up that nervous system, traveling up the side, and then it moves into those hips, lower back, coccyx, and a little bit of it begins to drip down into the center of your feet, going back into the essence that is pulled, as well as down the grounding cord, as then you open your crown like you would the lens of a camera. And that signals the divine to open up those cosmic floodgates of unconditionally loving energy, divinity to pour down into your crown. I mean, just filling through your higher self, raining down on your higher self, just electrifying that holographic you with that unconditional love of creation, as it then drops, go on your aura layer, but then it creates this opening like a faucet and it pours into your crown. Amazing. And it's just working out all those cobwebs of self-hate, of loathing, mistakes, past energy. All those old pictures are popping out, everything that's getting in the way. It's going into the prefrontal cortex and it's saying, hey, get up out of here, worry, doubt, and fear. You got to go, moving it down the spine, down the grounding cord, into Mother Earth, moving down into the center of your head and the pineal gland, decalcifying it, send all that calcium down that grounding cord, down through that channel, moving that down, filling it up with gold light, moving in potentiality, 0 point wellness. And then it goes down into that limbic system. And it says, you know what, this primal energy, we are going to give you new technology so that you know yourself better and you know how to have that emotional intelligence and that spiritual wisdom so that your steps are ordered. As that gold light then moves down, lighting up each vertebra, pushing out that spiritual nervous system, aligning you with your highest good and all of the energy of the universe that is conspiring to help you reach your goals. You are now locked in as your toroidal field lights up and that golden energy meets that earth energy and starts filling you up like water fills up a cup. And now let this do what it does. as you focus in on your heart and your breath, and you feel that loving warmth of cosmic divine life force energy and earth energy. Remember, it's of a color that resonates with you, but mostly gold, with those flecks of the reality of the 3D world, but mostly magic as it moves up and it hits those knees and those joints, working out any pain, any illness, any disease, as it moves up and through the femur, the femoral artery, working out any of the toxins that may be in your blood and your channels, replacing it with unconditional love as it moves into your hips. And we're going to slow the energy down and allow for this to work in the colon, reproductive organs, the lumbar spine. Working out any pain and any disease. Take a moment and get in the details of watching this gold light move its way through your body. And as that essence, pure 85% cosmic gold, comes down the center of the spine, the mixture comes back up externally, coating it, keeping it safe, powering it, engaging it, programming it with your unique energy, giving you more love, giving you more authenticity, giving you more vulnerability, giving you more self-love and power, as it then begins to move up, sprouting out the crown and your hand chakras, starting to fill up your aura layer as your heart bursts open, and those beautiful emojis of love, rainbows of hearts pouring out of you, powered by earth energy, cosmic divine life force energy. And that rainbow energy is the signal of joy, of bliss, of amusement as it pours out of you and into the universe, blanketing the inside and the outside of each layer of your aura. And your toroidal field is locked into Mother Earth. As that pyramid with the capstone begins to show up and spin, and that white light comes down, engulfing you, protecting you. This new technology locking in, giving you that software that you need to reach your goals and to move across that bridge to unspeakable beauty. Become aware of the present moment as you sit in this beautiful energy, empowering your soul architecture, unlocking you. So while your cells are filled with love and creativity, I want you to see yourself at your zenith in this 3D world. And as you become divine excellence, I want you to see the people around you light up. What's the visualization? It's like lighting a lighter. See the flame above their head. See the person next to them and that flame and that other flame and that other flame. And just see a whole sea of flames of mass consciousness waking up to the unconditional love that is represented by Christ consciousness, the Messiah, that energy that is you, lit up. I know who I am. I understand why I'm here. I love myself, and I am ready to share my blessings and gifts. And I want you to turn around internally and see that bridge, that golden bridge. No, not the Golden Gate Bridge. This bridge is the Golden Bridge. The bridge where who you were and who you are in this vision, you're going to cross that bridge and close that gap. And you're going to bring all of those who lit up with you. So turn around and walk, and with each step, you're moving out your past. With each step, you're letting go of worry, of doubt, of fear, of that person that was the past, of the mistakes that you made, of the resentment, of the rejection, of the regret. And you're moving into joy, bliss, unconditional love, forgiveness, and most of all, abundance, wellness, access and connectedness to spirit and Mother Nature and your highest good. And see yourself grabbing hands with those next to you as you guys are running towards your purpose and who you truly are. And together, we're moving into a new state of being. And the magic that we are is bursting forth from us. And as you see yourself, you're right there, 2 steps from you. Step into you, step into the new you. The one that's at its zenith, pure potentiality. Breathe with the rhythm of your body and know that you are grounded and rooted into Mother Earth. And she wants you to have it all. And your aura is 1.5 feet around you. Your higher self is above you. Your astral body is snapped in. You're running that 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you, that 85% cosmic gold. Your spiritual energy, nervous system has powered up that toroidal field. The universe you're locked in is now conspiring to create that reality. That pyramid above the capstone is powering that white light that extends all the way out into the universe, paving the way for you. Breathe with the rhythm of your body and hold the space. Hold the space. See yourself there. Be aware you are there. Get into the details. It's not a movie. It's not outside of you. You are living it. You see your hands as you write the script of your life. Sit in the energy of your sovereignty, of your freedom. Expand to see yourself where your dream is now a reality. You are living in a state of mastery over this 3D world as you are plugged into your soul architecture of divine creativity. So create this in the present moment. It is safe for you to have it. So now, the Creator is stacking 8 golden suns above your head. And as you continue to hold the vision, that first golden sun comes down. It moves through the channel that is you, catching the wave of that beautiful 85% gold cosmic life force energy as this beautiful golden orb of sunlight moves down your grounding cord, chasing those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles down into the core of Mother Earth, where they sizzle and turn into positive creative life force energy for anyone to use. That second golden orb comes down into that wave of gold light, that river of beautiful cosmic divine life force energy, and it stops in that first chakra, extending and expanding in the top of that grounding cord, bringing you into the present moment, lighting up that lumbar spine, powering up that nervous system with even more creativity and unconditional love as that third golden sun, that beautiful orb, comes down into the second sacral chakra, And boom, it extends and expands, moves out any writer's block, lack of creativity, moving in gold light, channeling the masters that you can tap into, making you creative, feeling all that pleasure, bringing in that support, magnetizing in the access that you need to create abundance and prosperity in your life as that fourth beautiful sunny golden orb comes down into that third chakra. And it takes its time as it reprograms you for motivation, discipline, your personal power as now at its full zenith, as it then locks into the lower two chakras. And some of that essence moves up into the fourth as that fifth golden orb comes down, extends and expands into the heart, moving out all resentment, rejection, regret. Like a dirty bathtub, that dirt just goes down the grounding cord and it's shiny, clean, clear, and that beautiful green ruby is spinning as that essence moves down. And that sixth golden orb comes down into the throat chakra to where you speak and you just illuminate and people's hearts open. They become more vulnerable, more authentic. Love, beautiful energy, communicating as that seventh golden orb comes down, filling up your head with sanity, reality, purpose, intelligence, wisdom, knowledge, love, beauty, justice, foundation, power, and strength, all throughout this discordant orb, making it very, very much so a unity. The right brain and the left brain are now in alignment with each other, coordinated, and you're locked into the plan as that eighth golden, beautiful orb comes down into that seventh chakra, aligning you even more and even better with the divine. Hold your vision and allow for your higher self to do what I instruct, but you are to see yourself at your zenith, living the life of your dream as 7 more golden suns are stacked above your head. And each one comes down and solidifies the love into each layer of the aura. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, and you sit in the energy of this divinity of creativity and manifestation. Hold the space for you and all of those around you who have moved into unspeakable beauty. You are across that bridge, and it is open for anyone else who wants to come. As we unite and go within and become excellent and divine and share our blessings and our gifts, others automatically wake up and cross that bridge. And mass consciousness then moves into unspeakable beauty. So as you take that deep breath in, I want you to hold it for a count of 4. Exhale. Go ahead and close your feet chakras and watch that earth energy recede. I want you to take another deep breath in. Hold it for a count of 4 and close your hand chakras and your heart. As you exhale, and you just exhale all love. Inhaling a deep breath as you then close your crown and you see that heavenly gold light recede back through the white light, back through your higher self, back through the pyramid with the capstone, as all of that stays intact. And you just are basking in the loving energy that is you, the divinity that is you, that made you. knowing that you've been brought back to your purity and your power. So go forth and see yourself in this last visualization, walking past plants and then waking up and opening up. See the dogs and the cats gather around you, the babies smile and laugh with you. See the hugs that come your way from all of your colleagues and your family and strangers, and see the doors that are opening for you as you sit in the space of unconditional love and knowing who you are as that beautiful energy of the divine works through you. See yourself lighting up rooms. As you take another deep breath in and exhale, you let that energy settle. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And remember, the bridge is always open.
I love that bridge. Yeah, I do. You know, that's a visual that really kind of works for me. I think there's some beautiful things waiting for us, but that was brilliant. Thank you, Jolie. Love that.
Thank you so much for allowing me the space to do this. I really love it. And to think that, what a blessing. I'm so grateful because I could be the struggle to get here. You know, I think of, we let go of the past, right? But I'm just even more grateful that I have this opportunity.
Yes, you and me both. It's a beautiful thing. So, okay. Right. So to wrap this up, then, this is the last one of
The year.
2024.
Yeah.
Albeit we'll put out a small newsletter then in a couple of days. So we're going to send out the newsletter again tomorrow with the recording of this attached to it. And anybody who wants to be a member of this community can just contact me at johndrew@elevatedplanet.life or contact us through the website, which is elevatedplanet.life/contact. We'll get you to the contact page. And Jolie, what else do I need to remember?
Like, share, and subscribe if any of this resonated with you, because we are so appreciative of this opportunity, like I say.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. So, okay, well, that's it. Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you so much to our community for being here with us today. Really, truly value you. And I know that you're on this journey with us to this world of unspeakable beauty and to the fifth dimension and to those sensory events that I was talking about before, connecting heaven and earth. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. And thanks very much to Jesus as well for his
Yes.
today. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a fantastic holiday season, a fantastic Christmas. I hope Santa is kind to you all, and we will look forward to seeing you again in 2025.